was good. I think those guys did a great job today, offense and defense, running around, making plays. There's a lot of stuff, like Coach said. We got 204 gradable snaps on offense and defense to learn from, which I think those guys are excited to do.
Returning a lot of guys, from especially the line and, the front seven, but talk about Eric Watts and just how important it is to have him back.
Yeah, I think, just like you said, I think the beauty of last year is a lot of guys in that room took snaps. So, obviously, the one everyone talks about is Eric, but it's not just Eric. It's Dow, it's Jelani, it's even RJ, it's Sequoia, Price, Carter, Colin. All those guys have taken great strides. Leading with Eric. Eric does an unbelievable job. From last year to now, he's taken a lot of big steps in what he needs to work on and his improvement, and he's done that just like all of them. And I hope, as you guys are out here to see, they're running around, moving a little faster, still got a long way to go.
Where's Eric improved?
I just think in his just decision-making and just being decisive. One of the things that we worked on from a year ago is there's some times where he had to see it. We're just telling him to be decisive. He has great athleticism. God has blessed him with great tools and length. We're telling him to make sure he uses that every play.
Now that he's a senior, do you see a sense of urgency in him?
I wouldn't say because he's a senior I see a sense of urgency with him. I think he's one of these guys, him and Dow, they've been here for the long haul. So they've seen it, and now they got a taste of some success last year. We still got a long way to go. Like Coach has said, they've got a taste, just like a lot of guys who's been here got a taste of success. So obviously that naturally kickstarts them to go a little bit more. But he's an unbelievable worker. He's out there running right now, as you guys can see. But that's what all those guys are doing.
For the few experienced guys added to the team as well as the returners, do you feel like you have improved depth on the D-line compared to last year?
Absolutely. I think we did get some new additions, which is great for us, but I think also we got improved depth because we're playing. Even right now, Coach has done a great job to start it. We're just playing. These guys are lining up and playing. And I tell those guys, make new mistakes every day. They're constantly getting game-like situational experience, just like everybody is on the team, which obviously builds depth all the way through.
With depth and experience, does it make it easier to coach, easier to get add new things, new wrinkles, and just get through the day maybe smoother?
Yes, and it also lets us improve and really now be critical. So now, because you get the experience, you're allowed to take that next step. So now it's not just level one of the schematic things that we do. It's also, okay, now we're digging deep to what is the formations and everything giving us as well. So now we can play even faster.
And with that depth, you feel comfortable throwing out any four, correct?
Say it again?
With that depth, you feel comfortable throwing out any four on the line during a game?
Absolutely. So in the games, and you've seen the situations from a year ago, and all the times I've ever coached, I let those guys, once we build the experience and once those guys build the confidence and show it in practice and every single day in the meeting, we have all the trust. Coaches involved, we have all the trust for those guys no matter the situation of the game.
How do you think the UConn offense looked different compared to last year?
I think they're looking very, very good. I think even like last year, they got hit with the injury bug a little bit, so I wouldn't say it's so drastically different. I just think you now see them healthy, and now when they're healthy, you see the explosiveness and the things they can do. So I wouldn't sit here and say that they're drastically different like they weren't very good last year. This is the same offense, same coaching staff, same everything. Now you see a little bit of health sprinkled in with some other guys, and you see the explosiveness that they can give you.
Working with Coach Mora and, you guys calling plays defensively by committee, how did that work last year, and does it feel like it's going to be better this year, with no defensive coordinator?
No, I think it's going to be good. I think just like last year, there's always bumps in the road. We're all new last year. Now another year all together. Of course, we kind of are starting to understand what everyone's thinking. So now it's just a smooth transition no matter who's calling it, which we're all doing a great job.
Is it hard to find your voice when there's so many voices trying to speak at once?
No, it's not. It's not hard to find your voice. I think you just sit back and you listen. I think with all the voices, I think a lot of people don't listen. So everyone wants to speak and try to say their piece. Just sit back and listen, and then add in to what maybe someone's missed it, or give some advice on the side, and you don't have to always be in front of the camera and be the one speaking.
Coach, you played at Iowa State champion?
No, sir, I played at Central Michigan.
Okay,
I was a graduate assistant at Iowa State.
Okay, so I'll ask you, you went through the Big 12 as a graduate assistant.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think when you saw all the movement in the conference yesterday?
I think I think that was above my pay grade, I would say. But I would say, movement and change, I guess, for the betterment for the kids, I think is always good. I think, universities trying to keep pushing themselves to compete at the highest level of what they deem that is, I think is outstanding. I mean, taking the steps and getting these guys to play as best competition as possible, and then I think it helps them.
The linebacker position has also added some people
Mm-hmm.
in terms of experience transfers. How does that impact your work on the D line? Does it make life easier? The linebacker group.
It makes
getting
it
better.
It makes life very easy. It helps us. It helps those guys that they're triggering fast and being decisive. It's the same thing, even like going back to when we're all playing fast, we'll make mistakes fast or we'll do great things fast, but we can help those guys improve and we can develop them. The problem is when people are indecisive, and then now you got to try to coach through that and teach them to go and then try to develop. So the one thing is we do have depth. We got some guys in the linebacker room. Coach Diabate would tell you if he was out here that they probably got a long way to go. But just like everybody's room, but I think we're taking steps in the right direction for sure.
With all the conference stuff, UConn was kind of in the news a lot in the offseason. A lot of opinions were out there on social media about the program. And, did a lot of guys see those and kind of get a chip on their shoulder from it? Do they react to that, or has it kind of been the same old?
I think I would say all of us is on Twitter every single day. So I think to say you didn't see it would be a lie. But I think we understand that has nothing to really do with us. That's administration. That's the people across campus, and if they say we're in a conference, great. If we're still where we are, we'll be where we are, but the focus is being successful on the field. That's what we tell our guys, and our guys know that. That's what we can control, is being successful on the football field.
In terms of people looking at the program as, UConn's a terrible program or whatever they're saying, does that...
I think everyone has their opinions, and they're going to have their opinions of us, whether we win a lot of games or we don't, which our goal is we're going to win a lot of football games, but I think that's their opinion. We're not going to focus on that. We talk every single day, even Coach Pace last night and even me the night before. We're worried about ourselves, each person individually, then as a unit, then as a position group, unit, then as a team. So kind of worrying about them, I think that's part of the issue with society. We're all worried about what everyone else thinks, focus on ourselves, and we'll go from there.
Did you see a lot of positives in the defense today? Because as an outsider looking at one single practice, it looked like the offense had its day today. Mm-hmm. But do you still see positive things coming out of the defense?
Absolutely. Like I said, these guys are moving. They're another year in the system, so they look more comfortable. So now they're making different tweaks and things that we got to coach them on are now like second level, third level things we're rarely having to talk about. And I'm talking about my D-line. I really have to talk about their alignment and where they line up on a call. Now we're really getting into technique, getting into situations, and some of that is what you saw today. But we're moving around at a good pace, and we like where we are, but obviously we know we got to keep getting better, drastically better.
What are some keys for you for improving the pass rush this year?
So some of our keys, and we work on it every single day, we're working on seeing the hands and working on the get off and also putting those guys in the right situations. I think the pass rush is not just third down, which I think everyone always talks about. They're all worried about third down. The biggest key, like we talked about, is just creating pressure on first and second down. Getting that quarterback off the spot, which we watched some stuff today. Get that quarterback off the spot, make him move his feet, and make him make those tough throws like he practices. Over time, those are really hard to do. We just want to get him off the spot. As that happens and we keep creating pressure, I think the sacks will come, and I think the negative plays will come, but we got to get pressure first before we get the sacks.
What kind of a leader is Eric Watts? You talked about a lot of voices being in the room, but you got a lot of vets and a lot of guys that have been here.
Mm-hmm.
Is he one of those guys that's talking a lot?
Eric's not a talker, so he's like the goofy one, okay. But at the end of the day, he has the ability of very few, in my opinion. He can turn it on and turn it off. Like, he can be joking and laughing, and then he can see the temperature of the room and know when to cut that mentality on. But he does a great job, him and Jackson and all these leaders. He leads in his own way, which is what I tell these guys. I tell these guys to lead in their own way. Don't be a vocal guy. That doesn't mean you're a bad leader. Eric knows, and there's times when Eric speaks, the beauty of it, because Eric just doesn't talk to talk. When it's time to be, when he finally does speak, everyone listens. So he's a great leader, and he leads by the play on his field, which I think everyone on this team respects him.
And you obviously came here last year with Coach, and was that an appeal to you to learn? A younger coach, to learn from a guy that's been at the highest level? And
yeah, absolutely. I think one of the reasons when you get a text message from Coach Moore on your phone, we all know who he is. We all know who his father is. We all know the pedigree that which he has. So if a person like that's very interested in you, you always want to go and you always want to seek to learn from people who've done a lot of great things. And then also this place appealed because, again, like I said, like you brought up, everyone's opinions and what a lot of us do, and a lot of our transfers and a lot of people who've come here, incoming guys, they're coming to where everyone says it's hard. They're coming to where everyone says it's, you can't do this, you can't do that. And I think we're all here and we're ready to attack that and prove to ourselves that we can do whatever we want to do.
You said the offense isn't a lot different personnel-wise, but just guys are healthier and been in the system another year. Can you talk about both the quarterback group and the running back group? Because they both showed some real talent out there today.
Yeah, I think Coach Charlton, being offensive coordinator and quarterback coach, can allude to that a little bit more. But from my perspective, they got a lot of talent in that room. And then as far as the running backs, Bruden, Devontae, Victor, Cam, even Jam, those guys can roll a little bit now. And that's the biggest thing what we do on offense, that we keep those guys in space. And you'll see on some of those short yardage, they're not afraid either. They got the physicality to go in between the tackles. So we love that. And it's great for us on defense because the speed that we see every single day, we got to be on our horses a little bit.